Fall River, Massachusetts, 1892, a town steeped in history and tradition, a bustling mill town, a place of industry and quiet lives. The hum of machinery and the rhythm of daily life defined its character. But beneath the surface, darkness stirred. Unseen forces began to unravel the fabric of this peaceful community. On a sweltering August morning, the Borden family home became a scene of unimaginable horror. The air was thick with tension and fear. The peace of the town shattered. The tranquility that once defined Fall River was now a distant memory. Andrew Borden, a wealthy businessman, lay dead, his skull crushed by brutal blows. The violence was shocking and unprecedented. The murder weapon, a hatchet, found covered in blood. It was a grim reminder of the savagery that had taken place. But the horror didn't end there. The terror continued to spread through the household. His wife, Abby, met the same gruesome fate. Her life was brutally cut short. Her body discovered upstairs, her life taken in a frenzy of violence. The scene was one of utter chaos and bloodshed. The town held its breath. Fear and suspicion gripped the hearts of the townspeople. Who could commit such a horrific act? The search for answers began, but the mystery only deepened. The maid, Bridget, had been the first to stumble upon the carnage. She had been going about her usual morning routine when she entered the parlour and was met with a sight that would haunt her forever. Andrew's body sprawled on the parlour sofa, his face almost unrecognisable. The brutality of the attack was evident in the deep gashes and the blood that stained the furniture. Panic seized her. She called for Lizzie, Andrew's daughter, who was home at the time. Her voice echoed through the halls, filled with terror and urgency. Lizzie, seemingly calm and composed, sent Bridget for the doctor. Her demeanour was unsettling, almost as if she had expected this. But the doctor arrived to a scene of unimaginable brutality. The air was thick with the metallic scent of blood, and the silence was deafening. Abby's body, discovered moments later, lay cold and still on the bedroom floor. Her lifeless eyes stared blankly at the ceiling, a stark contrast to the warmth she once radiated. The house, now a crime scene filled with police. They meticulously combed through every inch, searching for clues that might explain the horror that had unfolded. Whispers of the gruesome murders spread like wildfire. Fear gripped the town. Neighbours locked their doors and windows, afraid that the killer might strike again. Who could wield a hatchet with such ferocity, and why? The questions lingered, unanswered, as the town grappled with the shock and horror of the events on 2nd Street. Suspicion quickly fell on Lizzie, her demeanour strangely detached, her alibi full of inconsistencies. The police, desperate for answers, zeroed in on the young woman. The evidence, though circumstantial, seemed to point to her. The bloody hatchet found in the basement hinted at her involvement. The lack of forced entry, the missing key, all added to the mounting suspicion. Lizzie, once an unassuming daughter, became the prime suspect. The town watched, captivated and horrified as the investigation unfolded. Could this quiet, seemingly ordinary woman be capable of such a heinous act? The trial of Lizzie Borden captivated the nation. Newspapers across the country splashed her face on their front pages. The courtroom, packed with spectators, buzzed with anticipation. The prosecution painted Lizzie as a cold, calculating killer driven by resentment towards her stepmother and a desire for inheritance. They presented the circumstantial evidence highlighting her strange behaviour and inconsistencies in her story. Lizzie's defence, however, argued that the prosecution lacked concrete proof. They pointed to the lack of direct evidence linking Lizzie to the murders. They emphasised her previous good character, portraying her as a victim of circumstance. After days of intense testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict: not guilty. The courtroom erupted in gasps and murmurs. Lizzie Borden, acquitted of the murders that shook Fall River, was a free woman. The verdict divided the nation. Some believed justice had prevailed, citing the lack of conclusive evidence. Others remained convinced of her guilt, unable to reconcile her acquittal with the brutality of the crime. Lizzie, forever marked by the accusations, lived out her days in Fall River. a constant reminder of the gruesome crime that had stained the town's history. Despite the acquittal, questions lingered. Theories swirled, attempting to explain the murders that had no clear perpetrator. Some whispered that Bridget, the maid, had a hand in the killings, motivated by resentment or fear. Others pointed to an unknown intruder, a stranger with a grudge against Andrew Borden. The missing key to the side door fueled this theory, suggesting someone had entered the house unnoticed. And still, some believed Lizzie, driven by a darkness no one could comprehend, had committed the murders and gotten away with it. The Lizzie Borden case remains one of the most infamous unsolved mysteries in American history. The brutal murders of her father and stepmother in 1892 shocked the nation and left an indelible mark on the collective consciousness. The gruesome nature of the crime, the trial that captivated a nation, and the lingering doubts continue to fascinate and haunt. Lizzie's acquittal only added to the mystery, leaving many to wonder if justice was truly served. The Borden House, now a museum, stands as a macabre monument to the unsolved murders. Each room tells a story, frozen in time, inviting visitors to step back into that fateful day. Visitors walk through the rooms where Andrew and Abby Borden met their end, their imaginations running wild with the possibilities. The creaking floors and dim lighting add to the eerie atmosphere, making the experience unforgettable. The Lizzie Borden murders serve as a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved, their secrets buried in the annals of time. Theories and speculations abound, but the truth remains elusive. The question of who swung the hatchet that fateful August day continues to echo through the quiet streets of Fall River, a chilling whisper in the wind. As long as the mystery remains unsolved, the legend of Lizzie Borden will endure, captivating the curious and the brave alike.